Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. One way to remember who you are is to remember who your heroes are. Sometimes life's going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. I am convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. Taking LSD was a profound experience, one of the most important things in my life. LSD shows you that there's another side to the coin, and you can't remember it when it wears off, but you know it. It reinforced my sense of what was important, creating great things instead of making money, putting things back into the stream of history and of human consciousness as much as I could. Why join the Navy if you can be a pirate? If you just sit and observe, you will see how restless your mind is. If you try to calm it, it only makes it worse, but over time it does calm. And when it does, there's room to hear more subtle things. That's when your intuition starts to blossom and you start to see things more clearly and be in the present more. Your mind just slows down, and you see a tremendous expanse in the moment. You see so much more than you could see before. It's a discipline, you have to practice it. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again. I think different religions are different doors to the same house. Sometimes I think the house exists, and sometimes I don't. It's the great mystery. If you're not busy being born, you're busy dying. That's been one of my mantras: focus and simplicity. Simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple. But it's worth it in the end, because once you get there, you can move mountains. I don't have any skeletons in my closet that can't be allowed out. People who know what they are talking about don't need PowerPoint. You know who the best managers are. They're the great individual contributors who never ever want to be a manager, but decide they have to be manager because no one else is going to be able to do as good a job as them. Apple at the core, its core value, is that we believe that people with passion can change the world for the better. And that those people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who actually do. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. The unions are the worst thing that ever happened to education because it's not a meritocracy. It turns into a bureaucracy, which is exactly what has happened. The teachers can't teach and administrators run the place and nobody can be fired. It's terrible. Sometimes life hits you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. I'd been rejected, but I was still in love, so I decided to start over. Computers are like a bicycle for the mind. Computers themselves and software yet to be developed will revolutionize the way we learn. Unlike other product developers, I did not believe the customer was always right. If they wanted to resist using a mouse, they were wrong. When you're doing something for yourself, or your best friend or family, you're not going to cheese out. If you don't love something, you're not going to go the extra mile, work the extra weekend, challenge the status quo as much. Pretend to be completely in control and people will assume that you are. I was worth about over $1 million when I was 23, and over $10 million when I was 24, and over $100 million when I was 25, and it wasn't that important, because I never did it for the money. As my sufferings mounted, I soon realized that there were two ways in which I could respond to my situation, either to react with bitterness, or seek to transform the suffering into a creative force. I decided to follow the latter course. Let me know which quote from this video inspired you the most in the comments section below. Your valuable suggestions will be highly appreciated. Subscribe the channel to get more brainstorming quotes for making your thoughts much better, calm and motivational.